Yeah.
Your thoughts on these phone calls?
Well, what it really takes me back to, that John is very well familiar with, is the Ukraine impeachment hoax.
Yeah.
So I was the lead Republican on dealing with all of that mess, and I remember, we had just got done with the Russia hoax. Mueller had completely flamed out. That was a hoax. And then I remember getting a phone call from nowhere saying, there's a whistleblower, you got to come back to Washington, D.C. I said, what? Whistleblower on what? Ukraine? What? Like, what are you talking about? And then, of course, it was this, supposed that, Trump had done something, and I was like, yeah, Ukraine's corrupt. Like, everybody knows it's corrupt.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with it for years.
Yeah.
I had been there several times. So what's the problem? Like Trump saying that, yeah, there's corruption there, we knew it. Now, what we now know is that Trump definitely had to have known something or suspected that there were real shenanigans with the Bidens. And I think that's what you're seeing here now. That, I don't think I even realized it. It was Miranda Devine who came onto my podcast maybe last year and said, no, you understand that this is one of the most corrupt families ever in the history of the United States. Because I always thought he was just mumbling, Joe Biden. Everybody knew around here he was kind of an idiot. Nobody really respected him. I'm just talking, this is my personal opinion from talking to Democrats and Republicans over the years when I was serving in Washington, D.C. So, but I didn't realize just how deep the corruption goes. And now this is the biggest corruption scandal in U.S. history by far. Yeah. Period. This is what, tens of millions of dollars. People are estimating maybe $100 million over the last of foreign money. Yeah. And if I had a contract from, some, Mexican business, meaning Mexico business, and I didn't register, I'd immediately get charged with violations of federal law. And so how is it that none of these Bidens ever had to fill out any of that documentation? And look, they weaponized the foreign registration process against Trump and Trump associates. Right. But for years you get nailed with fines, right? And I mean, these guys didn't even get fined. And now that the new norm that Mueller and company and Weissman and those guys set forward, I mean, if you commit FARA now, I mean, it's jail time, or should be. And these guys, nothing's happened to them. So the fact that, in this town, in this swamp, John, I mean, you're one of the very few that's trying to get to the bottom of this. And I remember, how they targeted you when you were coming out with stories.
Good old days.
You were coming out with stories about very serious issues involving Hunter Biden. And then remember, they smeared Giuliani, and they said, oh, Giuliani this, Giuliani that. But look, what Giuliani was saying, I mean, why would the former mayor, I mean, he was dealing with these people. I mean, he had every right as an American citizen to bring this stuff forward. And they tried to target him.